identification and the approval much easier on a prototype, while the hardware and bringing the hardware into the VTS centers is more a logistical aspect. We had to build up the network service to connect all our sensors and remote sites and the user sites, and also to interconnect the 3 node sites. We did that. We looked on all the requirements to build up one net that saves us a lot of work, have all the requirements in place rather than do endless re-engineering. Okay, we want to bundle our technical maintenance at the node site, and we did that. We had to build up remote maintenance tools there. We are not really there. It's slowly starting. On some services we did. And of course we have to constitute coastal-wide maintenance structures and responsibilities. And that is really a tricky thing to do. Organizational changes are hard to do, and also the identification of the maintenance personnel with its system comes when you give them the responsibility for this coastal-wide system. So, finally I summarize. The repeated use of the generic system specification saves time and work. The implementation of new system in the mines and in reality are almost equal efforts. The system structure allows a step-by-step realization, yet there is no interface standards for shore-based system available. The integration into one system requires a lot of coordination and management. There is the chance for harmonization of human-machine interface, infrastructure, and interfaces when building up one new system. I want to thank you for your patience.
Thank you very much, Dirk, and thank you to all the speakers for keeping such a good time. As a result, of the one paper that was withdrawn, we have a lot of time for questions. Now, we've heard several advanced implementations of e-navigation in Japan, China, Poland, Portugal, and Germany, and also we've heard from 4 of the working groups of the IALA e-navigation committee. So there's plenty to talk about, and so I'll invite you to ask your questions.
Hello.
We have a Sunny, Professor Group.
Thank you, Chairman, and thank you all speakers for your excellent presentation this session. I would like to give a question to Mr. Peter Douglas. You mentioned the R mode, ranging mode, to get the ships positioned by the low frequency receivers on board. So does it mean that the technology like this E-low-run will be introduced to the R mode? Is it correct?
I think the message is that it is certainly feasible to use the IALA beacon system to transmit ranging signals. There have been a number of trials done in the past in the United States with regard to doing this, although I don't think there's an active research program at the moment. So as far as I know, there is no active program into this, and obviously to make this work would require a new receiver on board ship or an integrated receiver incorporating this functionality. So at present these don't exist, but it's certainly technically feasible.
John Liam.
Yes, thank you. Heinrich, thank you for a nice presentation. I'm glad that you included the International Hydrographic Organization and the Meteorological Organization. I think that's important. My question is, once we have the data model, including those three organizations, could that be seen upon as the VTM framework? Thank you.
Well, that's a tricky question. As far as I understand VTM, it's considered a framework, mostly in the operational domain. And the data model is well, again, it's a framework, but it's also a technical and engineering thing. So we will certainly have in our data model data objects and data properties which will address all the needs of the VTM, whatever they may be in the future. But I don't think they are the same, and therefore I would dare say, no, that's not exactly the same.
Does that answer your question? Next question, please. The speakers from before the break are still here in the audience, so obviously they're available for questioning as well. I don't see any more hands raised. Oh yes, Seamus. You can always rely on Seamus to have a question.
It's a question for Lee Alexander, actually, if he's here from the earlier session. He mentioned a list of systems that are a list of systems that are potentially available. I wonder if he had considered IALA.net as one of these systems, because I don't think I saw it in the list that he put up on screen.
Primary systems we tried to identify initially were shipborne systems. Nothing was excluded. We made our effort to try to include what seemed to be reasonable. But to be specific to IALA.net, I will admit ignorance. I have no idea what IALA.net is.
Well, perhaps you weren't in the presentation earlier in the... Is there anyone who'd like to respond on that? Yes. Omar.
Well, good question, James. And I'll give you a special lesson after this session. So, IALA.net has been designed or thought of as mainly a vehicle for exchanging, a system for exchanging EAS data. However, we have conceived the idea of transmitting or transporting other information. And certainly I can see IALA.net as one of the cornerstones of the e-navigation concept, providing we can develop sufficiently reliable methods of transporting these data, the reliability is an issue if you're going to use it for anything operational. So my answer is yes.
I can just respond real quick. My answer was a flip.